Hello everybody and welcome to Coastal Experts. I'm Natalie Hendricks. You know, there are all kinds of disorders in our society, and it seems more and more people are being diagnosed with autism. But what exactly is autism? What are the symptoms? And how is it assessed? Well, we decided to call in our coastal experts at Horizons Behavioral Health. And joining me now is Dr. Robert Richardson. He's a licensed psychologist who specializes in clinical psychology. Hi, Dr. Richardson.
Hey,
it's so good to
you?
see you. So we've heard a lot about autism, and it's becoming more and more at the forefront of stories that we hear about. What exactly is autism for some of our viewers who may not be familiar?
Well, autism is a neurodevelopmental disorder, and what that means is that in children and adults that are diagnosed with autism, there are delays in communication and brain patterns, and also delays in development, such as a child's ability to walk, toilet training, communication patterns, their ability to adapt to new situations versus familiar situations, and their functional communication. So what we often see in the symptoms of autism include delayed speech, often speech that's not comprehensible, maybe babbling and things like that. Now, autism is a spectrum disorder, so the symptoms I'm describing at the present time are at the low end of the autism spectrum. Persons at the low end have delayed speech, delayed communication patterns. They often won't reciprocate in social situations. They don't reciprocate. They don't understand the nuances of social situations. If you say hello, they may not respond. They don't know to respond. You know, the brain patterns interfere with their ability to interpret and store, we believe interfere with their ability to interpret and store that information, where kids that don't have that are able to do that.
You know, years ago it seems like we didn't know that much about autism, and more we've heard so many different things about it, and we're learning more and more every day. What about recent statistics?
Well, recent statistics are alarming. In the 1980s, 3 out of every 10,000 children were diagnosed with autism. Today, 1 out of 68 children.
1 out of 68 kids.
And 1 out of 42 are boys. You know, also 1.5% of the children in our country are diagnosed with autism.
1.5%
of the children
in the United States are diagnosed with autism.
Now, in comparison to other countries, that's low. Like, for example, one country that does have a rate for autism is South Korea. And in South Korea, 2.5% of the children are diagnosed with autism. And there are other rates around, but 1.5 is a pretty significant rate, and it's risen so much since the 1980s. Partly, I believe, is because...
I was going to ask you, is there a reason for the increase? Are we still learning about those reasons?
It's the knowledge that we've acquired and learned that allow us to figure it out, and I think allow us to, so we've spotted it more, and we see it more.
So speaking of that, so where symptoms are concerned, because symptoms show up really early. So what are some of those symptoms where you're talking about autistic spectrum disorder?
Well, there are many symptoms. One symptom that is so immediate to me when I meet with the child or the adult is that there's no reciprocity in the communication. I will engage in conversation, I will get nothing back. Also, the eye contact is extremely poor, extremely poor. Part of that is because the brain patterns are focused more on movement. So autistic persons look more at the features that move in your face than your eyes. So they may be looking at your mouth, but that's why. They're more stimulated by movement. And also they miss that connection or reciprocity we have with eye contact. So their eye contact is generally poor, you know. They have very fixated or obsessive interest on things. That they have many behaviors that are associated with sensory aspects of toys.
I know they can have anxiety
a
lot of anxiety and even irritability.
They're often, let's see, a recent stat showed that 84% of persons diagnosed with autism have significant or at least clinically significant problems with anxiety and sensory issues.
That's amazing.
So
What about how is this disorder assessed? Because this is something that you guys are experts at Horizons Behavioral Health. How is this assessed?
Well, the clinician will meet with the child and the family and the parent and all, and a history is taken. What we call a psychosocial developmental history, a very specific history that outlines the child's development, where they have delays or did they not have delays. There's also a exploration of any family history related to this. We think that persons that have a family history of this may be at a higher percentage for becoming at risk for that if their family member has that, or if your grandparents or relatives, if it's in the family. So we do this interview that studies and explores the child's history with the parent. Also, the parents do a number of rating scales on the child that rate them on different things like atypical behavior or obsessive behavior. It rates them on many different aspects of depression, anxiety. It also rates them on their ability to adapt to new situations and their social skills.
So a full assessment can be done at Horizons?
Yes, and we also use IQ testing. Oh yes, but whole complete full assessment's done. I'm sorry.
What about treatment?
Treatment includes ABA therapy, applied behavior analysis, and family therapy. And those can be done by mental health professionals that have specialized in both ABA therapy and family therapy. And those are the two methods of treating autistic disorder right now. In both of those therapies, the autistic person, child or adult, will learn to improve their social skills, will learn to improve their adaptability, and learn to improve their functional communication.
You know, and I know that you guys work with a lot of folks at Horizons Behavioral Health, and you know a lot about this disorder. If there are viewers out there who have questions, what would they need to do?
All they would need to do is call us either at our Hinesville office or at our Savannah office or at our Rincon office and schedule an appointment for an initial interview, and we will be glad to start from there and help them.
Thank you so much, Dr. Richardson, for joining us. It's always great to see you.
It's a delight to be here.
If you'd like more information on autism, or if you have questions for Dr. Richardson or any of our coastal experts, all you have to do is go to our Coastal Experts page. You'll find that at wsav.com.